All right. Welcome, everybody, to Double Shot Lord of the Rings TCG. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with my buddy Kyle, and he invited me to kind of comment on his most recent PSA returns. So, we're going to do a cool grade reveal today. So, Kyle, how many cards do you have coming back, and what set or sets are they from?
Sure. Yeah. So I submitted 52 cards to PSA in early September 25, and I just got them back today. So that's about a 4.5 to 5 month turnaround time, which unfortunately is a bit slower than I'm sure we would all like. But I basically submitted a bunch of cards that were from the later sets, like the Hunters block, as well as some promos, because I was trying to get enough cards to create PSA set registry requests, and you have to have at least 5 cards from each set. So I thought, well, I'll get some of my nicer cards in, at least hopefully work some of my nicer cards, depending on the grades. That way I can fill up my set registry and get some of those later sets requested with PSA.
Yeah. Awesome. Sounds good. Well, I'm excited to see what you got. So let's get into it.
All right. So I do have notes off to the side of what I pre-graded these at. I did upload a pre-grade video in the Facebook graded group back in September. So we'll see how good my grade estimates are. Maybe some of it is PSA grading harsher. It's a very hot topic these days. But yeah, we'll just kind of see what goes, and I'll make stacks for what graded according to my expectations, maybe what was lower than I expected, and then maybe if PSA was generous and gave me the grade bumps, I'll make a stack for those too. So we'll just get started here.
All right.
So the first card I got up is a Gimli from the online promos. I've got 2 of these. And overall, I thought it looked pretty decent, maybe a little off center left to right. I should note that I don't think I pre-graded a 10 on any of these cards except for maybe one. So I'm definitely not expecting 10s, but if I can get 8 to 9s, especially on some of the foils, that's kind of my goal. So yeah, it looks overall, say pretty good. Again, 8 to 9, and I got an 8. So it's definitely one of the more expensive non-foil promos, so I may crack this one out and resubmit it. All right, and I've got a second one here. Looks pretty similar, although maybe a little bit better centered. No real obvious corner or edge wear. I did notice on a lot of these promos, most of the time when I marked them down, it was just because it was like light surface scratching. I typically didn't have any like dings or any real, major edge wear.
Yeah.
But again, I pre-graded this one. That was a 9. So anything less than a 9 would be disappointing. And disappointment ensues. Only an 8. So again, of the 2, I'll probably correct this one and resubmit it again at some point. Not the best of starts, but that's all right.
Do you want to make that full screen for us, Kyle?
Oh, sure. Let me see if I can do that. I'm sure I'll figure it out here. Give me a second. Where is the... Oh, there we go. All right.
Sweet.
Okay. Sorry for the delay. All right. So this Arwen, I pre-graded as a 9. I did notice it looked like it's interesting with these online promos. So like the ones I just had, this is an earlier card. This is 0p62. And it has a copyright date of 2004 down there, but they actually put 2005 on the label. So I don't know exactly when these came out, but yeah, PSA's labeling doesn't seem very consistent. So anyways, this one I pre-graded is a 9, and I got an 8. So far, hitting about 1 grade lower than expected. Oh boy, hopefully that's not indicative of the whole return. This one I had pre-graded as a 10 to a 9. I really thought I had a solid chance at a 10, but of course, there's always a chance you'll get a 9. If it's less than a 10, since it's such a valuable card, I probably would crack. And yeah,
Nice.
going in the crack pile.
Yeah.
I'll at least try once. Most of the valuable cards I'll try at least once because I've had a bit of luck over the years, cracking and resubmitting and getting at least a 1 grade upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely gonna have a higher chance with a non-foil too.
Sure. And sometimes, the grader just has a bad day, and like that's a whole conversation or whole topic for another conversation. Hey, is PSA consistent? But they are humans.
Sure.
They have good days, bad days. So This Gandalf I thought was super clean, very well centered, no edgeware or dings or dents or scratches at all. I had it pre-graded as a 10, which I hardly ever do. I was pretty confident, and I got an 8.
Oof.
Oof, 2 grades lower. So, it's at least building up my set registry. But again, I'll probably crack that just because, it is $100+ card.
Yeah.
Got a Boromir. I said this could fall anywhere between an 8 and a 9. I guess I don't really need to flip the back over because you probably can't see it that well. But I had between an 8 and a 9, got an 8. So far we're getting 8s on the non-foils. I don't know how I feel about that. I have another one here that I pre-graded as a 9 and another 8.
Pretty common trend with the eights on
I
these.
say I'm noticing, I don't know. All right. I'm sure, well, I'm not sure. Hopefully most people that are watching this video are a little familiar with this card. So this card is the most expensive or most valuable non-foil promo. I think the only promos that are probably more expensive are some of like the 0D13, 0D14. Those are 4-figure cards. Yeah, I don't know any other promos that are in the 4 figures. This one, ranges in price from 600 to 1200, just depends on the day, the seller, the condition. So I had this one pre-graded as an 8 and is definitely one of the nicer copies I've had.
7.
Our first 7. Do the value, yeah, I'll probably crack that. So far I haven't hit anything yet that my pre-grade was on. All right, let's see. Okay, so we've got the last card from this online promo set, and I did pre-grade this as an 8. There we go. Finally, I think I'm 1 for 8 or 1 for 9 so far. So let me start a stack over here on this other side. So finally, all right, got one that I pre-graded correctly. All right, then this card is, I believe, the only Lord of the Rings card ever printed in Dutch. Although someone in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong. It is probably one of the more difficult promos to find. I looked on eBay and online sites and everything for a long time. Finally bought this off of somebody in the Facebook group. But yeah, I pre-graded this as an 8. And I got an 8. Thank goodness. And it also was a foil. I know it's kind of hard to tell due to the lighting and due to the card itself, but
Yeah.
this actually is a foil. I think the non-foil is in Shadows or Black Rider. I know it's in one of the early War of the Rings sets. I just can't remember exactly which
Yeah, I
set.
think it's Black. I think it's Black Rider.
It's a Black Rider that has the regular non-foil, obviously in
I
English
believe
here.
so, yeah.
Okay. All
I
right. All
was
right,
I was
cool.
just looking at my set registry. So I have one of the AMR promos that I graded as well, got an 8.
Oh,
And
nice.
then my Gandalf Stormcrow got a 7. So those are
Okay.
the only 2 from that little online promo set that I have graded. I
Sure.
have a whole set. I only have one copy of each, and the other ones did not look good enough for me to make it
Yeah.
worthwhile to send it off. So
I had a really clean air mirror coming from South America last year, but unfortunately that package got opened in the mail and the card was lost. And then I bought quite a few of the other cards from Category 1 games probably like 2 years ago.
okay.
Cherry picked the better copies, and then I've sold off the other copies that I didn't really want to grade. So I don't have any more of those. What I've gotten the sub is basically my best condition candidates. Um, all right, moving along here, we've got the Saruman. You notice the spelling on colors must be a non-American English copy. No, but I think this card was originally released overseas as a promo. I don't know if it was ever released in the US. Supposedly there's only 500 or 600 copies made or distributed. Of course, extra copies always, creep out of the factory. And I think the same is for the, previous card, that Dutch card as well. Supposedly there's only 500 copies printed and awarded, but who knows?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never heard that before, but I mean, I know these cards are rarer, the decipher cards. So
Yeah, the stamped ones and stuff. So this one I pre-graded as an 8. Again, I looked through several copies, picked the best. There we go. Got another 8. So yeah, we're 3 for 3, or I should say 3 in a row on pre-grade estimates. Um, all right, now I've got one more regular promo. So this card had not been graded before at PSA, so I had to do the card, research request. And actually, the main reason I did a research request was not to grade this card, but it's actually because I have a copy of this card signed by the actor who played Isildur. So I wanted to make sure that PSA would recognize a card before I sent my authenticated, autographed copy through.
Yeah,
But
very cool.
yeah, I do need this obviously for the set registry whenever PSA gets around to adding it. I pre-graded as a 8. It is a foil. I think the only part of it that's foiled is like maybe the necklace chain around his, neck, and maybe the ring. Definitely not a lot of foiling on there. And there we go, an 8. So at least we're on a little bit of a run. Now we've got a couple 0D cards before we get onto the set cards. So I already submitted these same cards last year and got them graded, but I was like, we got a couple more cleaner copies. Let me get these in. So I pre-graded this one as an 8. I got an 8. Cool, cool. I will always take an 8 on these 0D cards. Ellendale, pre-graded as an 8. Got an 8 on that. All right, now we're cooking. Ordnance Grunt. I pre-graded this one as an 8. Oh, there we go. We
Yeah,
got a 9.
9. Pretty cool. What a
That's
what a great name for a card too. Ordnance Grunt.
right. It's like I'm sure
This this
that
poor
yeah, I'm
this
sure
poor
that
troll had
really
no
appreciates
respect
it.
at all.
Yeah, just uh, you know, I don't even know what he's always loading up a slingshot. It's like, what's he doing there?
Yeah,
He's loading up a trebuchet
he's
here. Yeah,
catapult on Pelennor Fields. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
he's
actually,
just there to move rocks.
with this 9, because I know when I submitted these 0D, whatever it is, 5 through 8 earlier, I got all 9s and a 10 on Bilbo, but I did not submit this card. So now at least I've got all 9s and 10s for 0D5 through 0D8. So that's cool.
Yeah,
I know that somebody in the group too recently got PSA to recognize 0D1 through 4. So next time I do a submission, I'll submit my copies of those, and then hopefully I'll get a nice clean set of 1 through 8. All right, moving along. There's a Bilbo. I pre-graded this one as an 8. Got an 8. All right. So maybe
I
those
think there's a
online.
I think there's a PSA 10 on the pop report for that Bilbo somewhere.
Yeah, it's in my inventory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably, I don't know. I'm not really looking, sell or flip or make a profit. What I'll probably do is because I'll have 2 full sets of these graded. I'll probably, obviously put my best grades in the set registry, and then maybe eventually I'll just sell all my second best graded copies, together as like one big set. If anybody's looking, I'll
Yeah.
just lump them all together. Because I mean, like I said earlier, even getting an 8, I've looked through lots of copies of these, and just the way that they were distributed and the way people stored them over the years, they're normally got a lot of scratches or a lot of whitening and bad corners. So I feel like again, anytime you can get an 8 or better on these cards that were not released in packs, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm sure there were, stacks of 20 or 25 or 50 shoved in some guy's bag and he brought them to the tournament and then he's, handing them out to
Right?
everybody unsleeved. So, yeah, finding nice copies is going to be
Yeah.
harder.
People didn't realize. I mean, this game was never graded from the rip like other games. So yeah, people just stored them in binders, like 9, pocket pages without any penny sleeves, or they put them in, card boxes and just flip through them. So yeah, it's really hard to get um, clean copies. So this Balrog I picked up from somebody in the main Facebook group a while ago, and I thought, oh, it is the foil, and I pre-graded this as an 8. Let's see. Yeah, it's an 8. Oh man, 7. I thought for sure. I did see somebody in the group just recently graded a BGS 10 pristine of this card,
I think
which
I
is
saw that too. Yeah.
pretty cool. I mean, honestly, that's probably the best looking pristine 10 I've seen of any card, you know. But yeah, 7, I'll probably end up, yeah, this is a pretty sweet card. I'll probably end up cracking this for resubbing at least once. Just see if I can get that grade bump.
Yeah, I have a PSA 8 of that in my inventory as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it seems like that card's really starting to go up in price. I mean, it was printed a lot. Mine's a Moria. It was a heavily printed set, but even raw, man, it seems like they're always selling in the group. People are always looking for them. Just a lot of Balrog fans. All right, so we're getting out of the promos now, and we're moving in. So I graded, excuse me, a whole set of the Rise of Saruman rare foils. It looks like, and then I've also got a couple select ones that I cherry picked after the set, where I thought that maybe they were better conditioned than the set. So first off, I'll go through all 18, starting with the Ring of Artifice. I think that's how you say it. I pre-graded this as an 8. It's a 7. So I did need to grade a bunch of these, like I said earlier, to get enough in my inventory to request a set. So after this video, I will end up, uploading these in my inventory and requesting those. All right, then we've got Glam Dream, and I pre-graded this between an 8 and a 9. Oof, got a 7. Oh boy, now I'm scared. Let's see. I got Shadowfax. Pre-graded this as a 9. Got an 8. Hmm. Oh boy. Pliers are going to get a workout with all these crackouts. How do you say this character's name? I'm curious.
Gwahir.
Gwahir. Okay, I've never actually heard someone pronounce it, so that's good
I
to
think
know.
if you listen to Gandalf really closely when he's trapped on the Tower of Orthanc, he kind of whispers it when the moth comes and visits him.
Oh, really? Okay.
But they don't really say it. They might say it in The Hobbit, although I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, and it's not like the Eagle talks, where like he introduces himself or anybody calls him by name. Like obviously, if you read the books, you see the name,
Yeah,
but in the movie, he's not. He or she, I don't know. I'm assuming it's a he, but
right.
Lord. Let's see. I pre-graded this one as a 9. Hmm. Come on, PSA. For how much I talk you up here, you're letting me down. Enduro, let's see, pre-graded this is an 8. Got a 7. Yikes. Let's see. Faramir, pre-graded as an 8. Got a 7. Oh man.
I believe you've had some pretty good success with some of these rare foils
I
previously, right?
I have, must just be the grader had a bad day, which it happens. It's all right.
Yeah.
I'll still use them. Narsil, I pre-graded as a 9. Got an 8.
I have kind of a wild story. Completing my foil sets for set 17, I was only missing Andoril in the rare foil, and I bought 5 random Rise of Saruman packs off a guy in the Facebook group, and I pulled it out of a pack, the one I
No
needed.
way.
It was awesome.
I'm impressed you actually opened the packs. That must have
Yeah,
been
well, I mean,
super
I
rare.
was hunting for that card, and I couldn't even find it anywhere. Even if I was going to shell out the $200 for it, it wasn't for sale anywhere.
Oh wow. I think I
At
have
least
had
not
a
at that
couple
time.
copies, but yeah, again, a lot of these, you'll find them occasionally on eBay. And I think a lot of people buying them are probably just buying them for the binder or to play. They're not looking for like gradable copies. But I've gone
Yeah.
through probably at least 4 to 5 copies of every card in the set. Buy one, look it over. If it doesn't meet the criteria, flip, kick it down the road. And it took a lot of sorting, a lot of cherry picking to even get 8 to 9 quality cards to submit. Much less good luck finding a gem mint 10. I think there's one PSA 10 of the Rise of Saruman rare foil, and that's a Theoden, if I
Yep.
recall correctly. But everything else is like, nines or eights or lower. So definitely a pretty tough set to grade. Um, so this Throne of Minas Tirith, I pre-graded as a 9. We got an 8. Maybe I need to start pre-grading one grade higher than one grade lower than I think, and then I won't be disappointed. Throne of Isengard, let's see, I pre-graded as an 8. Oh, there we go.
Got
Finally,
an 8.
got an 8. I will take an 8. My goal would be to get the whole set, at least the set 17. If I can get a complete set of all 8s and 9s, maybe like 70% 9s, 30% 8s, that would be my goal, because I mean nobody's cracking booster boxes these days. Not when those last couple boxes sold for what, 10K or
I think the
14K.
first one sold for 14 and then the second one for $8,000. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people in the group that are always looking for packs. Like, does anybody have a Red Saruman pack? And it just seems like loose packs have dried up. So basically, the open
Yeah.
cards that are in circulation is really your pool. It's not like a fellowship box where you can just snag one on eBay, crack it open, and go foil hunting. Uh, Stampeding Chief pre-graded as a 9. Ugh, got an 8. No, that's all right. It is what it is. Orcish Invader. Let's see, I pre-graded this one as an 8 or a 9. Got an 8, so I'll look a little bit closer at this before I determine if I want to crack it or not. I mean, I did say that 8 was an acceptable pre-grade. Here we go. I got Aragorn. Now, I did pre-grade this as a 9, and I think in the Masterwork prints, the Aragorn is probably the most expensive Masterwork from
Yeah,
set 17.
for sure.
I know Shadowfax is pretty hard to find, but I haven't actually seen a clean copy come up for sale, so I don't know what a clean Shadowfax would. But anyways, yeah, pre-grade this is a 9. That was really clean, except I think the left to right centering was off a little bit. There we go. Of
Wow.
all the cards to get a 9 on,
That's awesome.
let's get it on Aragorn here. So yeah, definitely pretty happy with that. And I think they actually reused
Yeah.
this artwork for the Masterwork, and I think a later promo, one of the 120 something promos.
Yeah, it's
Um,
basically
there's
a masterwork promo foil. It just has the DGMA on the bottom of the text.
Yep, and that's a pretty expensive card too. Like, I think I've seen that one selling for at least 300 plus these days.
Yeah,
So
yeah, the promo's a couple hundred, and then the masterworks you're looking at like, I don't know, $1,500 or something for a raw
yeah,
copy.
I think Jeremy's got one or two PSA graded copies on eBay. I think his 70's asking like 15. I think the 80's over 2. I mean, he hasn't sold them yet, so who knows what they're actually worth. But
Yeah.
definitely.
I may end up just picking up one of his copies because I've been looking for a Masterworks Aragorn. It's one of the 4 Masterworks I'm still missing just to
Hmm,
have a single copy. So
yeah,
I've been keeping my eye on those.
I've only bought one copy, and the one copy I bought was the only clean raw copy I saw. So if I still needed one, I would, yeah, probably be looking at his as well. I'm not shouting him out. He's not a sponsor of today's video. It's just I know that he's graded some of
Yeah,
these masterworks. Throne of the Golden Hall, I pre-graded as an 8. 7, I guess. I guess it is what it is. All right, here we go. I got Theoden. Pre-graded this copy as a 9. Got an 8. That's all right. Throne of the Dark Lord. I had probably 5 or 6 copies of this. For some reason, this one's always been more accessible. I don't know if it's not playable or if it was just printed more, but let's see. I pre-graded this copy as an 8, and we got an 8. There we go. I will take that. All right, coming down the stretch here, we've got Ulair. He was pre-graded as an 8 to 9, an 8. So maybe I'll take a closer look. Maybe I'll just keep that as is. Reign of Savagery. This one was pre-graded as an 8. We got an 8. Cool, cool. Let's see here. Reign of Terror. For some reason, this is really expensive. I've heard that this card is really playable, more so than the other Reign. And I'm still missing this in the Masterworks. I've not seen a Masterwork copy of this that's not beat to all heck on the market. I've been looking for a couple of years. Let's see. This one I pre-graded as an 8 to 9 and got an 8. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's one that I'm missing as well. One of the other masterworks I'm missing.
Okay. Yeah, they're definitely tough to come by. All right, so after that full set, I've got a handful of copies that I thought were the cream of the crop, the best of the best. So I got a Shadowfax here, another one I thought was 8 to 9. Second copy, only got an 8. Mm. Mm-hmm. Got another Stampeding Chief. Thought that this one was a 9. Got an 8. A few more cards left. I've got this Aragorn here, another Aragorn. Sure, it'd be nice to get 2 9s. Pre-grid this one between an 8 and a 9. Got an 8. Such is life. All right. Last Rise of Saruman rare foil. I've got another Theoden. Pre-graded as a 9. Got an 8. All right. Now I've got a Reflection Sauron. I think this card is maybe pop 1 or pop 2 in a 10. I did not think that this was a 10 copy because of the centering, but I thought it was really, really clean. I thought it was worth, the $17 submission fee.
Yeah.
Got a 9. So yeah, I did pre-grade it as a 9. That was really clean. Man, tell you what, whoever this grader was definitely must grade a lot of modern Pokemon. They're near flawless and not grade a lot of old Decipher cards because any little minor flaw, boom, automatic 8.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. I've got a couple techniques. I did submit this with some modern Pokemon, even though I put the modern Pokemon behind it. And so I don't know. Maybe I'll just do a whole submission that's only Lord of the Rings, and then they want to make anything to compare with. Okay, so now we're getting into my Masterworks. I do have Masterworks from set 13 all the way through 18. So it's
Okay.
Aragorn. I thought had a chance. So I should say, I don't know when PSA updated their centering standard. I feel like it was last fall or maybe last summer, but I know the centering, it's hard to tell. It's much more thin on the left than the right. But I still thought that the card was gem mint outside of that. So I thought, well, maybe that centering would be good enough for a 9. So I pre-graded between an 8 and a 9. I got an 8. So I'm guessing it's just due to the centering. I'll have to measure
Yeah.
it later. But yeah, it's probably too heavy on the right to even get a 9.
There are quite a few PSA 10 masterworks from Bloodlines on the set registry. So I don't know if there's just more copies in better condition out there, or if the print quality was maybe a little bit better since the game
Yeah,
was still live at that point. But
sure.
it seems like you
Yeah.
can get better grades on these overall.
Yeah. If anyone's watching and they got PSA 10s to sell, hit me up in the Facebook group. I'm always willing to, up my condition if you have a better copy than what I've got. We've got Aomir, and again, same thing. I think the centering is pretty similar to the Aragorn, although this might be even worse. It is pretty thick on the right, but yeah, this Aomir I pre-graded between an 8 and a 9, and I got an 8. I guess, yeah, I guess that's fair. I'll keep that as is.
Yeah,
I have a few more of
I
those
think
to go.
with that
Yeah.
centering, I think an eight's going to be pretty fair there.
Yep. All right. Got you there. And again, it's such a dark card, so it's hard to tell, but yeah, you can see at this left border. I think these all came from the same seller or the same box, so they're probably all cut the same. So again, I pre-graded this as an 8 to 9, but again, because of centering of the last two, I'm going to guess it gets an 8 now in hindsight. Yep. All right. Well, that's all right. At least it gets me enough cards to get a set registry going for that. Okay, now we're moving on to the Hunter's Masterworks. No, those were the Hunters. This is the last Hunters card. I pre-graded this as an 8 to 9. Again, very thin centering, and an 8. Ugh, okay. I've got one Rise of Saruman card, and then I've got, looks like, 7 Treachery and Deceit Masterworks. So I did not have a copy of this yet. This was my cleanest copy at the time of submission. Although since I submitted it, I've actually gotten a cleaner copy. So I will plan on upgrading this. But I pre-graded this as an 8. I got an 8. So I will take that. I don't know if there's any other 8s on the pop report for this card yet. But yeah, anytime you can get a masterwork from set 17, 8 or better, definitely win. So I
Very
think with
nice.
that now,
That
Go ahead.
that might be one I'm missing as well. So if you end up grading another one and getting the same grade or higher, I might have to take that off your
Okay.
hands.
Sure. Yeah, I think I had 4 Masterworks graded prior, so I think with this 5th one now, I can have enough to submit, the whole Masterworks set to PSA. So I'll at least use the cert for them. But yeah, I'll
Okay.
probably send the other
Awesome.
one express or something, and then because this 4.5 to 5 month turnaround time is, I don't know. When you got expensive cards, I don't like waiting, so maybe I got to go
Yeah.
higher service tier. All right, so now we've just got Treachery and Deceit. So I already have a full set graded except for this very next card. So this next card will mark me having a full set graded. It was the Bjorning Axe, which does seem to be probably the most expensive in the set. I think it was really playable from what I've heard. Pre-graded this is an 8. I think there's one other 8 on the pop report, and you can see through my thumb because I'm not very good at covering. It actually got an 8. So yeah, that's cool. I will take an
Nice.
8. Definitely glad. I did submit the set request to PSA probably about a year ago. Still hasn't shown up yet. So as soon as they bring it online, yeah, you'll see the whole 1 through 9 set. And then I've got just a bunch of duplicate cards where I thought, these are probably clean enough to submit or maybe even upgrade. So I've already got a PSA 8 of this next card, but I thought that this one was a borderline 8 or 9. And so obviously if I can get a 9 of a masterwork, that'd be great. Yeah, that was pretty clean, but of course it's hard to tell. I got an 8. So I'll look at this one closer and determine if I want to crack it or if, you know, I just want to leave it as is. But I already
Yeah.
got an 8, so that's fine. Denethor's Sword. I've got this one in a 9. But I thought that this copy was super clean. I pre-graded this as a 9. There we go. But yeah,
Nice.
I've got both 9 copies now. So yeah, if you don't have one or if you're looking to fill out your set, I'll probably make one of the 2 available. Birkenbrand Shield. I think I've got this one. I don't remember. I know I've got at least an 8, if not a 9. But I pre-graded this as a 9. Oh, got an 8. I'm looking at my stacks here. My ratio is definitely not like a card graded higher than I thought. And I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 that were on my expectation. All right, Rohirrim. I pre-graded this as an 8, and it got an 8. I think I've already got this card in a 9 as well. So, but yeah, I'll take an 8, put in the inventory. All right, 2 cards left. Pulled the Rain. I've got this in an 8. This card was previously graded as a 7. I thought it deserved an 8, possibly. I have to go back and look at my video. It's either 7 or an 8 is what I pre-graded at. Got a 7. And I got one more card. It's actually the same card, different copy, and got a 7. So yeah, that's my whole return. I don't know if I can get my stacks. You can see that my did not meet expectation stack is very high. My expectation stack is quite low, and my exceeds expectation stack is very low. So yeah, it should be a gamble, but sometimes it is. You win some, you lose some. So I'm just happy to get these cards back.
Yeah, I think it's cool for people to see, I think for anybody watching this, these later sets are definitely going to be tougher to grade. Even if you're looking at, and I'm not nearly as disciplined as you, Kyle, I'm sure, about checking out the condition of these cards or searching through multiple copies. Um, I honestly don't put quite that much work into it. I do look at them, but I'm often only dealing with 1 or 2 copies maybe and just giving it a go or no go. So
Sure.
um, but yeah, these are tough sets to grade, but it's great to try to get them on the registry. And there are quite a lot of Masterworks cards out there and legends that have been graded. So there's a decent pop report of 70 or 80 cards out there for each of these sets.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not too uncommon. Um, awesome.
Yeah. I've got one more PSA return out currently that's in, or at least I should say one more that has Lord of the Rings cards. That's I think in QA1 or QA2. So I'm hoping that comes back here in the next couple of weeks. And that's got pretty much more of the same. And then I've also got, I
Okay.
think, a complete Bloodlines rare foil set. And then I know I've got another set and a half of Treachery and Deceit rare foils in there as well. So yeah, should have some more cards coming back here pretty soon.
Okay. Awesome. Well, yeah, we'd love to have you back on and do some more grade reveals if you're interested. Um, but yeah, I think that's gonna wrap this up. Um, quick shameless plug. I'm only 4 subscribers away from 100, and I really want to crack those expanded Middle Earth boxes to celebrate. So if you're watching this, please subscribe and get us to 100. So, but yeah, thanks Kyle for doing this with me. And we'll catch you next time, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys.